Hey everybody, welcome to the Real Talk Podcast. I am your host, Tyler Babb.
And I'm Zach Hendricks.
And today we're going to talk about all of the movie news that you love and enjoy.
All of it. There's just so much goodness that I want to talk about, and I'm so excited.
Yes, and you're going to be able to hear us and our opinions on it. Thanks for joining us today. Let's get into it, Zach. What's the first story that we have today?
All right, our first story is there's that new trailer for Deadpool 2.
Oh, the Deadpool 2 trailer, that new one.
Official Red Band trailer.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
And, yes.
That was pretty phenomenal.
I liked it.
For being honest, I had two not complaints, but two things that I left Deadpool 1 wishing were done differently. Which was, I felt like he didn't break the fourth wall a lot. Like, whenever he did, it was narration almost, which I don't really count as breaking the fourth wall in the Deadpool way. And in this one, and just in this clip in the trailer, he turns, looks directly at us in the audience, and says, "Oh, I hope they got that in slow motion." And I loved that. And the second thing, I don't know if we're going to see it or not. I haven't seen it yet, but I forget the name of the power, but I think it's Infinity Pockets or something like that. But that's the whole, the mask type thing, where you reach in your pocket and pull out a machine gun. That's one of Deadpool's listed powers, if you look at his character description. So I'm really hoping that, with how ridiculous this movie is, that shows up somewhere. But yeah, this trailer definitely upped the ante from everything from the first movie.
Oh yeah, it looks way bigger. You can tell that this is directed by the guys that did the John Wick series, so you could just tell that the action has gotten a lot better.
Yeah,
you can tell. So, and obviously, I mean, that's what they're known for the John Wick stuff. So that makes sense.
There was that really cool shot I liked where he gets
with him in heels.
Oh, that was funny. When you say, you have such powerful thighs.
Yeah.
That was a great shot.
Bill Pinder's back, which I figured he would be.
I liked that when he reached in the car, and he reached at the gun, and he grabs it, and he gets this just blown right through his hand. They pull the trigger, and he doesn't even blink. He just turns and shoots again through his hand. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, that was pretty sweet.
That's what I expect from Deadpool.
Cable is very cool. I will admit, like, I mean, I know it was a Red Band trailer, but, like, I'm not a fan of, like, just, like, I guess the random swearing that happens. It's weird to me, I guess, sometimes. And it seems unnecessary. Like, okay, like, I understand you're an R-rated superhero movie, and, like, you're Deadpool, so sometimes I feel like they have to do that, but it's kind of like, okay, like, I don't know. Or maybe it's just for the trailer. Maybe it fits in the actual movie, because they cut audio and put it under, you know what I'm saying? They mix and match stuff all the time.
Yeah, as Deadpool, you don't have to line it up with his lips, so you can do it even more in the trailer.
And it was the Red Band, so who knows? I just felt like,
I get that, and you know, I don't swear to begin with, so I definitely get that. But also, yeah, like if they're swearing this much in Venom, then like, what in the world? Or even Logan, like even a couple of the F-bombs in Logan, I felt like were out of place.
Yeah.
But when it comes to Deadpool, and not just Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds Deadpool, who is now completely embodied Deadpool.
Right.
I kind of just feel like that's the thing. Like,
well, yeah, no, I understand it works for this movie, and that's fine. It just don't want to. But let's talk about Cable. I think Josh Brolin is perfect.
Yeah, I do too.
He's pretty awesome.
I was initially hoping for a Cable that's like the comic Cable, which is just like disproportionately huge. I figured they could Hellboy him, you know. That's not how he's actually gonna. It's not his actual muscles, clearly, but it's like they make it work. I was hoping for that with Cable originally, so I was slightly disappointed originally, but then I've seen him in action now, and we get a lot more shots of him in action in this trailer.
Yeah,
and it completely changed my mind on that. Like, I thought it was gonna bother me a little bit that Cable's not too large, and Josh Brolin's already a huge dude, so it's not even like. Yeah. But yeah, I thought, he's Thanos level.
Thanos level huge, yeah.
Yeah. Buns and thighs, wear the heels.
The plot's interesting. You know, he wants to take out this kid, so it's like, I'm assuming the kid destroys the universe or something
in the future.
Yeah, he's got something wrong with him in the future. So
I really hope when Cable first shows up that Deadpool says something about like, "Holy cow, it's Thanos" or something like that. Like, I think that would be awesome. Or make a comment, "You were amazing in the Goonies," or just something like that.
How crazy would it be if he like throws him the Infinity Gauntlet? And then Brolin's like, and he compares it to the arm he's got, and it's like, what?
That'd be great.
But overall, I'm looking excited to it. I'm looking forward to it. Sorry about that, guys.
You look pretty excited when we watched the trailer. So
I'm pretty excited. I mean, you know, obviously Infinity War gets me pretty pumped. Spider-Man gets me excited. Nothing matches the level for excitement for
Infinity War.
No Spider-Man. I get so excited for Spider-Man films, man. Like,
dude, I'm so excited for that Iron Spider.
Yeah, nothing. If it's got Spider-Man in it, I'm super stoked. So,
but
huge Spider-Man fan. Everything else is cool.
I want to switch topics to one that I actually mentioned while talking about this. I said if Venom was dropping this many F-bombs or whatever, then that'd seem out of place. But so speaking of Venom, there's been some interesting things going on, and okay, so you guys can't see what's going on. Tyler just got up and walked away. It's like, what in the world is going on?
I'm gonna go sit on the couch.
He was just grabbing his drink. But so there have been some interesting rumors about Venom. The trailer has leaked. The trailer's already out. We talked about this in our first episode 3. The trailer. Why am I talking about the trailer still? The plot supposedly has leaked.
Yep.
Like the entire plot, not the synopsis plot. This is the whole movie, and I want to go over some of that stuff really quick because it's interesting. And Tom Hardy addresses it a little bit, which is also kind of news, and I want to talk about that afterwards. Mm-hmm. But I'm gonna go to this Venom thing that I have exited for some reason. That section.
Nice.
Okay. All right, so I found it. But yeah, so supposedly the entire plot of Venom is leaked. And we're going to run through this really quick. If you don't want potential spoilers about a rumor of Venom, I don't know what to say.
Just skip to whatever time code I have on the screen.
Okay, that works.
That'll make sure that you skip the whole Venom portion.
All right, so it starts out with Eddie Brock being released from prison.
Yeah, he's an ex-con.
Yeah, he's an ex-con.
He used to be a reporter, I guess. But
we don't even know if he is or not.
Oh, I thought that's what they said.
What's in it? There's no word what he's in for, or if he was still a journalist once upon a time.
Okay.
Yeah, so all we know about his character from this rumor is he's an ex-con and Michelle Williams plays his wife, so she makes an appearance, and he has a daughter too. And apparently when he gets out of prison, his daughter doesn't recognize him. Who are you? You're not my daddy! Like, oh my gosh. So he's heartbroken that his daughter doesn't recognize him, and because of that, the government will use them to try to get Eddie, and he'll return ultimately to save them. So that's a thing happening later on in this movie. So because he's heartbroken that his daughter doesn't recognize him, he goes to the woods. and he lays down.
I'm sorry, guys.
And again, this is just a rumor, I don't put it past Sony.
Honestly, I'm sure at least 70% of this is true.
So his daughter doesn't recognize him after he gets out of prison. So now he goes to the woods.
I feel like that's in the movie. And the woods thing is in the movie.
He goes to the woods and takes a nap.
I hope he has a better reason for going into the woods.
So
I hope he sees the crash, like the stuff fall down.
no, it happens while he's asleep. While he sleeps, space debris lands nearby.
Yeah, I hope that's wrong.
So, I don't.
Like, I hope he just sees it and then he just goes in there just because he's curious. Like, that's a much better.
Oh.
It's not anything. It has nothing to do with the way Venom's actually supposed to be done, but it's much better motivation than I'm just gonna go nap in the woods.
And while I'm asleep, space debris, an alien lands on me. So, space debris lands nearby. The symbiote emerges from the wreckage and bonds with him. Maybe while he's asleep.
See,
I don't know.
I hope that the next trailer we get just comes out clean and says, "Hey, look, we're doing dumb stuff like this. So if you don't want to see it, don't come see it. Because I don't want to go see this and have it be a waste of my time. I will walk.
You got Movie Pass now, though.
Yes, I do. But if he walks into the woods and takes a nap, I'm walking out of the theater. I'm just gonna walk out of the theater. I swear, man.
I want it to happen so badly.
I'm walking out of the theater. I'll go see it.
I want to see what's worse, this or Fantastic Four.
Oh.
But so while taking this nap, the symbiote bonds with him. I'm not sure if it bonds with him while he's sleeping, like he's asleep and it goes in his sleeve and then he wakes up with these, or if it happens while he's awake. I kind of hope it's while he's asleep that he doesn't feel this alien like getting on him. But the government goes there to quarantine it, and he tries to escape. But while the government's there, a second and third symbiote also show up or emerge from the wreckage, and one of them attacks some scientists and then kills them, and it bonds with the dead dude. No one knows it's inside the dead scientist. So zombie symbiote or something.
So his carcass is just gonna lay there through the whole movie?
Apparently. And the other one is captured. The second one is captured by the government.
Right. Which I think we see in that teaser trailer.
Yep. Yeah, so here's what it actually says. While the government scientists are exploring the wreckage, a second symbiote appears and bonds with someone. However, he ends up dying, and the symbiote remains hidden in his body, unbeknownst to everyone else. So, the movie's villainous scientists, so the scientists are the bad guys.
Right.
Of course. They start performing experiments on Eddie, and the symbiote eventually makes itself known and kills a bunch of them, leading him to escape. He starts running for his life, and the symbiote shows its power more and more by shooting off dozens of arms/tendrils to take out the guards and help him through San Francisco.
So is it just like chilling in his pocket? And then it like crawls up its back and like shoots out tentacles? Like, I'm confused.
So I think it just emerges from his skin. Well, let's see. The next section is what the symbiote looks like.
Okay.
The symbiote manifests itself as black veins on Eddie's arms and neck, which we see in the trailer, and only actually makes a physical appearance as the extra limbs as mentioned above.
Great.
Yeah. Then this would explain why it's nowhere to be seen in the teaser. But this is where it gets good for me. So, the government's waiting for him at his wife and kid's house, of course.
Right.
And he once again goes on the run. There's a car chase where he uses the symbiote as a shield.
Which we see in the trailer.
And then that knocks all the cars out of the way. So, what were you saying about the trailer?
Well, we see that in the trailer, but the problem is the visual effects aren't done. So, again, it's lazy trailer making because...
So now here's the question.
The visual effects aren't done. The cars flip and the cars blow up. They literally, for no reason, like, run into parked cars on the side of the road. They both, like, split off for no reason.
And that's my question.
He's on a motorcycle.
So...
Which I can tell is a visual effect shot that's not done.
Is it not done, or did they remove it to keep it a secret since they are so unwilling to show one glimpse of Venom?
I have no clue.
That's the most confusing thing. This movie is called Venom.
And they're going to hide it.
And they're hiding him like it's a surprise that he's in the movie. Like, there's not one glimpse of symbiote in the trailer besides it in the glass container.
Yeah.
And it's just so interesting. But this is where things get amazing. So car chase happens. The symbiote, he uses the symbiote to knock cars out of the way. However, after learning that the government has his family, he's forced to go back into custody. So he ran, beat him, and then it was like, oh, well, I'll come with you anyways. Even though they were already at his house with his wife and kid.
Well, they had him captured too, didn't they?
It just said they were there waiting, but I would assume they did there. So he's forced to go back into custody, where it turns out a third symbiote has been placed in containment. When Eddie's Venom symbiote sees that third symbiote, and this isn't me talking, this is me reading this description right now, it loses it and finally forms the costume from the comics. So he walks in this room.
Spider and all. No, I'm just... Spider on the chest and all. No, I'm just
sees
kidding.
the symbiote.
If it does, I'm laughing.
And then his symbiote's like, another symbiote! We are Venom!
It's probably going to look cool because it's Tom Hardy, but I'm going to laugh.
But then, so it forms the costume. The alien in containment breaks free, takes over the scientists, and it's on.
For just some random reason, probably.
And now we don't know if this is Carnage or not. It's not made clear. But, oh man. So Eddie Venom makes short work of the scientists. He does battle with, as we mentioned above. Eddie and his family are able to escape. And then there's a weird sequel setup, even though that will never see the light of day. Because remember, there's the third symbiote in a dead dude. Right at the end of the movie, the dead scientist who was taken over by a second symbiote is revealed to be alive. This scene clearly takes place to set up a sequel, but why should we care? That's my question.
Quickly, can you look up who wrote the Venom movie? Look up the writers really quick. I want to see what else they've written. Because...
One last thing before I get into that, just 'cause it's the last part. This is the details that everyone's going to care about. The leaker claims that Venom and his full costume glory only makes an appearance for around 2 minutes of the movie. And the budget for this movie is very modest, so that could easily be true. But yeah, I'll look up Venom movie writers. IMDb.
My face.
I know. Okay.
That teaser poster just looks bad too.
Screenplay or written by?
Screenwriter. Yeah, that dude. What else has he made?
Jeff Pinker.
Fringe. The Fifth Wave. Ugh.
Well, even these he's got producer status.
Oh, well, he's got writer on The Fifth Wave,
Yeah.
which I heard was garbage.
Okay, so let's click his filmography as writer. So he wrote Venom, stuff that's not out yet.
He wrote
Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle. I liked that movie a lot.
Okay.
Amazing Spider-Man 2. It's my birthday. Time to light my candles. Lost, Alias, The Beast TV series. So nothing really noteworthy besides Spider-Man 2, which...
I wasn't a fan of... I was a fan of...
So
obviously Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone. I wasn't a fan of the whole screenplay.
Yeah, well, see, that's where I'm so torn, because Max Dillon is... Electro's a nerd, and he's lame, and he's a loser.
Right.
So, like, yeah, it's my birthday, time to light my candles is, like, one of the worst lines ever.
Right.
But at the same time, that's what that dude might say.
Yeah,
you know, I got posters of superheroes on my... Like, I have posters of superheroes on my wall,
right.
But, like, in the I worship them type way, and, like...
Well, he did, too.
Yeah, so it's just like... No, I'm saying, like, that's who... I'm speaking as him. Like, I got all these posters up, I worship him. I, like, am completely unsociable.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, that's a belief. So I was torn. I was like, man, that line's bad. I don't know if that's bad writing or really good writing. So...
I don't know.
But yeah, so nothing extremely noteworthy in the... The Dark Tower screenplay was the worst part of that movie, I thought.
Yeah.
Like the movie could have been so cool if they just talked different. Like,
and it's interesting.
It was
because
so much
people,
exposition.
A lot of people go, and there might be people that listen and they're like, "Well, how much can you really tell by the writers?" And you can tell a lot by who works on these projects.
Yep.
A lot of good stuff that's good. I can hang my hat on the fact that I know this person's working on it, so it's gonna be decent.
Yeah.
But when you have a combination of this dude who's written what he's written, then you have Avi Arad coming in.
Oh my gosh.
It's just terrifying. It's just terrifying.
Yeah.
And
that's absolutely terrifying.
And I give all credit to Laura Ziskin, who was a producer on the first 2 Spider-Man movies. She did the first 3, sorry, and she did The Amazing Spider-Man, but she died right before the first Amazing Spider-Man came out. She passed away. But so I give her credit for the success, and obviously Sam Raimi was a huge reason why the first 2 Spider-Mans were so successful. But yeah, once you got rid of those 2 people, they just had no real creative talent over there at Sony. So we'll see how this goes. I feel bad for Tom Hardy because I feel like he could be a really great Venom, just not in this movie.
I think I've been against it since day one, but that's because we already had our Spider-Man, who was supposed to be a sophomore in high school.
Yep, I think so.
So Tom Holland's 15, 16, or playing a 15, 16-year-old. And how old's Tom Hardy? 33?
Oh, I don't know.
Older than that, right? 35?
Something like that, yeah.
Like, that's too old to be Venom for me. Or to be Eddie Brock for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I was against the casting from day one. I love Tom Holland. I love Tom Hardy. But I just did not like that casting as Venom. If we had an older Spider-Man, maybe. Mm-hmm. But yeah, this movie's separated from the Marvel universe.
If they do an alternate universe, right, where it's Peter Parker does exist, they're gonna just change the origins of all of it. It still doesn't make any sense because Venom's supposed to be based off of its previous experience with Spider-Man, so it doesn't make any sense really. But if for some odd reason Sony is building their universe and Marvel's got Spider-Man here, and Tom Hardy's older, but maybe they just kind of change the origins of all of it, and they don't know each other, and then they hop universes, and then down the road, and Venom's I don't know why he would jump the universe or why they would meet up. That's another thing too. The suit tied them together, and now that the suit probably doesn't tie them together, then there's no connection to Spider-Man whatsoever. And
a little bit. I'm sure most people. We're not going to keep talking about Venom. That rumor is probably one of the most noteworthy things. But right now, at least for this episode, that's why we're spending so much time on it. But for those of you who don't know too much about Venom, because I'm a Spidey nerd all the way, I'm a webhead. But I know we all think Venom's cool, but we might not know all the details about him. The symbiote takes the DNA of previous hosts, which is why it gives Eddie Brock Spider-Man's powers. Mm-hmm. That's why it masks the spider sense. But the other thing is the symbiote is a living being, which we kind of can tell already, and the symbiote hates Peter Parker.
Yep.
It hates him for rejecting them. That's why Venom's not always necessarily a bad guy. He might try and save a city, but he'll kill Spider-Man on the way. Mm-hmm. And that's a huge part of his character is Eddie Brock has a reason to hate Spider-Man, and so does the symbiote, which makes them such a perfect pair.
Yep. But that is going to be taken out of this movie.
And that's why even if they do cross over at some point, it won't have that
Oh yeah, no, it won't have.
It won't have that fire.
Yeah, no, it's not gonna have that weight. It's not gonna mean anything. You're just gonna be like, oh,
another bad guy.
Because in the real world and in the comics, this character is in this character's universe. Here they are together.
Yeah.
But story-wise, it's not gonna make any sense.
Let's just hope this movie bombs so bad and that this rumor's true, so it never happens.
Anyways.
And while I look for the next topic, one thing I forgot to mention about the Deadpool 2 trailer is that we got the X-Force finally.
Oh yeah, the X-Force. Very, very cool.
Oh, speaking of Deadpool 2, we won't need to touch on this because I haven't watched it yet, but the Green Band trailer is out. And there's different footage in that one. Apparently he puts the hurt on Cable, I've heard. Alright, Tyler, what is our next topic?
Alright, our next topic is, could be potential spoilers. I know I mentioned this to April today, and she freaked out and said, I don't want to know this, I don't want to know this. So, just so everybody knows, this is potential spoilers for Infinity War. Just in case you don't want to know anything. But Chris Evans has confirmed he will bid farewell to the MCU after reshoots are complete. Obviously.
Well, that's for Avengers 4.
Right. They shot 3 and 4 together at the same time. So when they're doing reshoots for both movies, or even probably just episode 4. Oh my goodness. Probably just Avengers 4, since they've already. I mean, the third one's pretty much probably done. Certainly done shooting because it comes out next month. So they're not doing reshoots for God, I can't even stop saying episode. Jeez, for Avengers 3. So yeah, this is reshoots for Avengers 4, and I was gonna read his quote, but it's gone.
Oh, where'd it go? Where did it go?
You open a tab.
Where did it go? Found it.
All right, yeah. So his quote says, "You want to get off the train before you get pushed off, before they push you off." So yeah, he's basically just saying, I don't want to overstay my welcome, which makes sense. When you're telling a story in a big universe like this, you want characters and their character arcs to mean something. Especially because, like, Marvel Universe ain't going anywhere, folks. Like, I'm sorry, but, like, they're building up to stuff. And if you don't like it, sorry, just don't go see it.
Yeah.
But there's enough people out there that are going to go see it. But anyways, yeah, you want these characters to mean something. And, and in another 10 years when Tom Holland is at the top of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, you want to be able to look back and be like, oh, remember those Captain America, when it started with Captain America and Iron Man? Like,
yeah. And another thing, too,
that's how it goes.
That people kind of forget when talking about this third Avengers. People don't realize that, I mean, we know it, but I feel like it kind of just goes to the back of our heads, is these stones literally control the foundation and principles of the universe.
Mm-hmm.
So they could kill off so many people in this movie, and they could be back in the next one, or people who were already dead. So the Marvel Universe is here to stay for a long time, but it also could easily change, where it looks completely different. People's histories are different. They can retcon stuff they didn't like necessarily.
Yeah.
They could cast a different person as Captain America who is still Steve Rogers, not even a different incarnation. I don't want that to happen. I don't think that'll happen.
Yep.
But I'm just saying.
Or they could do the whole, like, hey, we're going all the way back, and instead of Cap being chosen to be the one, or to be, to be Captain America, it was Bucky. You know what I'm saying? Like, they chose Bucky, and then boom, and now we're in the future, but in the past they chose Bucky and not Steve. Like, that's how it rolled.
Speaking of Bucky, I haven't seen articles about this, which is crazy, because I see articles about everything, from an actor saying, oh, I can't tell you what's in this movie, which I don't know how that's article worthy, but all that to say, Bucky has his metal arm in all the photos from this movie, where in the end credit scene of Black Panther, his arm is a nub.
Mm-hmm.
His arm is missing.
Mm-hmm.
So what that tells us is he is going to get his vibranium arm, because there ain't no way these Wakandans are building him an arm not made out of vibranium.
Yep.
So he's about to get an arm made out of the same stuff as Cap's shield. And I think that's really awesome, and I'm excited for that.
But
yeah, just wanted to make that comment.
I mean, again, they can hit, which I think they're going to do in a way. I think you're going to have, just for storytelling purposes, I think you're going to the whole universe is going to reset. I think you're going to have some characters that remember what happened and some characters that don't. I think Spider-Man's going to remember what happened. Somehow Tony's going to leave him some sort of something, and somehow it's going to cross you. That might not happen, but I think Spider-Man's going to remember. I think Doctor Strange is going to remember. But I think there are going to be people in the universe that don't remember what happened.
I could definitely see that.
To create drama.
Yeah, I also think that everyone's going to be dead at the end of episode 3. Or the third, part 3. Yeah. You got me saying it now. But I think we're going to have Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, and Black Panther be the sole survivors of Infinity War. The first one, Infinity War. Mm-hmm. I think they will be the sole survivors, and I'm excited to see that. Or just that I'm excited that a movie is so big that we can say stuff like this, and it's not like a pipe dream, like, oh yeah, and I'd love to see Darth Vader and Darth Maul fight, but that's not happening in a movie.
Right.
Where it's like, we can say the craziest stuff. We can say, I would love to see Thanos turn everybody old, except he makes Groot like 100 feet tall, so now Groot's like putting the hurt on. You know what I mean? Like, we could see all that. So I'm just really excited for this movie, and especially because, like we were saying, we don't even know what's coming after.
Or he can make, and literally, guys, I mean, this, we have the thing called the Mind Stone, obviously, so literally Thanos could have Captain America kill Iron Man. He can literally control their minds to the point where an Avenger kills another Avenger on screen.
One thing I definitely think will happen.
That's how crazy it's going to get.
I definitely think that we're going to have a team-up fight, like just these two people teamed up against bad guys with not Captain America, with Iron Man and Bucky, the Winter Soldier. Mm-hmm. I definitely think they're going to have each other's back because of all the tension that'll have in story building and character development from the end of Civil War. But even the writers of this movie, what are their names? Stephen McFly. He recently said how we all have
McFeely.
I said McFly.
McFeely.
I'm thinking about Back to the Future. Stephen McFeely said, basically, there's no big plot twist in the sense of this is actually Thanos' goal. We've known Thanos' goal forever.
Right.
It's the same. That's not changing. We'll have twists and turns on the way and other minor plot twists. But we know what's going on with 3. But Avengers 4, he said he's excited because he looks at the internet all the time and nobody has a clue what the 4th movie's revolving around.
That's good.
So we don't know how this universe is going to look, and I'm excited about that.
All I know is that Marvel's got plans, because Spider-Man, his movie's the first official movie that happens after this big Avengers finale thing that's going down, and I really hope they just decide to bring in all his rogues, not all of them at once, but let's make some real Spider-Man franchise build universe movies. You know what I'm saying? Let's drop the Osborn hints. Let's mention the Kraven. Like bring me my Marvel Spider-Man cinematic universe that I've wanted for a long time.
For a long,
you know what I'm saying?
time.
I think Tom Holland's Spider-Man is going to be at the forefront of the new people, and I'm down. Please give me the Spider-Man universe that I've wanted my whole life.
So I actually want to use what you were talking about to transition.
Okay.
Because part of Spider-Man's expanded universe is the Fantastic Four.
Yes.
He's been an honorary member of the Fan Four Stick before.
Yes.
And Sony has the rights for Fantastic Four, right? That's Sony?
No,
it's Fox. It's Fox. I know. So there's still not really any more news on that Fox Disney deal yet. It still seems like Disney's buying them. We just don't know the details.
It's going to take a while for it to get into effect, too, like a year.
But so while we're waiting for that to get into effect, we have a little more news on the Doctor Doom movie, which apparently is still happening and still directed by Noah Hawley.
Yeah. And the reason why that happens, guys, like obviously Fox is selling their film assets and everything, but until that happens and until everything gets changed, people still have to have jobs. The company still has to make money. It's not like they just stop doing what they're doing. So films are in development because they have to just act like business is normal and things are just going on as they would if they weren't being sold, because that's just how business works. So, but anyways, just so people didn't understand, just didn't go, wait, why are they doing this?
Also, there's like so much beef between Fox and Disney that people try to act like doesn't exist anymore, but it does, and I don't think Fox is wanting to willingly go to Disney, you know? Like, I don't think that was the first plan. So I could honestly see a few of these things, not to spite them necessarily, but like, well, okay, we're gonna make a Doctor Doom movie, so now are you gonna reboot the Fantastic Four right away? A few years had passed, but now a third Doctor Doom? Like, Fox does petty stuff like that.
Because it's not a smart move on their part
to make a Doctor Doom movie. Yeah, so
they've tried Doctor
without
Doom
the Fantastic Four.
Already.
And that last one was the worst one yet.
Yes, that movie was bad.
So
bad.
Oh, you like music? Is that your thing? You listen to music? Not even you play music. You listen.
Oh, you listen to music?
Is that your thing? You listen to music?
It's a really, really bad.
Oh man,
bad script. Such a bad screenplay.
So funny.
With the title card, that drove me nuts. Anyways.
Yeah, that cracked me up. But all is not lost, because there's some other good things in this world besides Marvel and Venom and Fox selling to Disney. There's other things that we love, including
his name is John Boyega.
I thought you were gonna say Star Wars, but yeah, John Boyega.
I wish he wore that. Like, I wish his whole thing was red. I wish his costume was red, because I think he looks cool there. But anyways, in the photo he's wearing, it's like the promotional poster for The Last Jedi.
Oh, I guess he's probably not Force sensitive anymore.
No, it's a bummer.
Okay, sorry. What about The Last Jedi? Why are we looking at John Boyega?
That's another thing. We talked about Star Wars like for hours and hours the other day. But it's like Maz Kanata.
Dude, that was yesterday.
Walks over to the thing. Was it yesterday?
That was yesterday.
That was yesterday. When she goes across the table and she like stares at his eyes and stuff, like it all alludes to he's somebody, you know, he's supposed to be something more than just like I'm gonna go into the beam and destroy. Nope, like whatever.
Okay, so the movie, we're not gonna get on the Star Wars tangent, but I just gotta say the movie is called The Force Awakens. Episode 7 is The Force Awakens.
Yes.
When Snoke is talking to Kylo and he tells him, "There's been an awakening. Have you felt it?" When he says that, Rey has shown no sign of Force powers yet.
Right.
The only thing out of the ordinary that happens is Finn's conditioning breaks after no prior signs of nonconformity.
Yep.
So, I think that was an allusion to him being Force sensitive.
Yep.
Well, personally, I thought it was Kylo breaking his conditioning, but that's all over now. So, why are we looking at John Boyega in his bright, blazing red robe jacket uniform thing?
Okay, so John Boyega confirms filming for Episode 9 begins in July. He teases all-out war. Zach, can you read this quote for us?
Sure thing. Alright, so he said, next for me, filming-wise, is Star Wars. Next for me, filming-wise, is Star Wars Episode 9 in July. And they've officially given us a note to start training soon. I'm going to take a holiday before that, because I think Episode 9, you know, regardless of where the story goes, I haven't read it, by the way, is going to be all-out war. So I know that I'm going to have to do all I can to train for that. I think what's fantastic is it feels like they're coming back full circle. He said that because of JJ returning. I don't know nothing about the script, the story. I don't know where Finn's going. I don't know where Rey is going, but I definitely feel this is the war to end all wars in this movie. And that's the full quote.
Well, okay, that makes no sense. He has to know something. Obviously, like, he's in the movies, so he's had to have talked to JJ during Force Awakens. They've all had to have talked about it. Because why would he just come to this conclusion? Because he didn't do jack crap in The Last Jedi.
So, what I'm assuming...
You know what I'm saying? He went to another planet and played with animals. What are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? He's like, oh, man, we're going to start training. Like, I think it's going to be all-out war. Like, so unless you've talked to JJ previously about what JJ said he wanted to do...
That's what I was about to say. So, JJ said he only signed on for episode 7, and that's all he was planning on doing. You have to say stuff that's not true to the media,
right?
To the press. You do. You can't not. If you think a movie sucks and it comes from a studio that you worked with, you can't say this movie sucks, for example.
Right.
So, JJ's been a Star Wars fan his entire life. Star Trek was his audition for Star Wars, you know, and because he said multiple times, and I even pointed it out when he was making Star Trek. What's the first one called? Is it just Star Trek? Not the first one, but the first of this new trilogy. Is it just Star Trek? When he was making Star Trek, I pointed it out. In his interviews, he kept bringing up, I'm a bigger Star Wars fan than I'm a Star Trek fan, that's not going to stop me from making this the best movie I can because I still love Star Trek. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, there's no reason to say that as many times as this guy is saying this. He wants to direct a Star Wars movie. Yep. I said that so many times, and then they announced episode 7, and I thought, I hope it's JJ. And then, boom. It was, I was so elated when it was JJ. So, he talked about being excited for Rian Johnson and only expecting to do episode 7. If you only expected to do episode 7, why did you make a rough treatment for all 3 movies in the trilogy? Yeah. He wanted to do all 3, and that's what Disney does, at least in the Marvel side. Oh, you did a great job at Black Panther, here's Black Panther 2. Oh, you did a great job with Captain America Winter Soldier, here's Civil War. Mm-hmm. Oh, they keep it in the family. James Gunn is doing all 3 Guardians movies.
Yeah.
I think he assumed, and rightfully so, I would assume as well, that he was going to do episode 8. So I think he told Finn, or John Boyega, Finn has got, all this awesome stuff. I have this plan for you, I have that plan for you. But most importantly, in regards to this quote, I think he said, when we get to the end of this trilogy, it's going to be all-out war. Yeah. Well, and I think that's where this quote comes from, is that conversation in 2014 about where he wants to take his trilogy.
And obviously John is saying this because that same guy that he had that conversation with is now back.
Is now directing episode 9.
And wrote it. So
exactly.
It's not like it's not like Rian Johnson wrote episode 9 and now JJ has to direct what Rian Johnson wrote. That's not how that's going. Mm-hmm. JJ came back and wrote his own episode 9. So that's good.
Yeah.
At least they weren't like, oh, well, we hired Ryan to write it, but he's just too tired to direct it, so we gave it to JJ.
Yeah.
At least they didn't do that.
That's true.
Because then that's a big slap in the face to JJ.
You
don't get to make the second one, but Ryan gets to write it, and you can direct what Ryan wrote. Like, what?
3rd.
They gave Ryan the second one.
Oh, I thought you were... Never mind, I misunderstood. I thought you were saying episode 9.
Right.
Okay.
But honestly, in terms of it, cool. It starts in July. Yep.
So, we were talking about Ryan a little bit, and we were talking about Star Wars a little bit. So, there's actually another Star Wars headline. And goodbye, Dr. Doom. You don't need to be on my screen. So, before I read this, I just want to say, if you've listened to episode 1 and 2, you've heard us talk a bit about Star Wars, because we love Star Wars. I am staring at my giant, because we're at my house right now. I'm staring at my giant Star Wars Episode 7 canvas on my wall right now, and I'm staring at my giant life-size cardboard, not even cardboard, it's an inch and a half thick, Kylo Ren with a full-sized BB-8 at his feet, wearing a Super Mario cappy cap from Mario Odyssey. Anyways, the point is we love Star Wars, and we're always going to talk about it, but if you listen to the first 2 episodes of this podcast, you heard us mention we disagreed a little bit on Episode 8, and you might notice Tyler's tone's a little different now. In the time that has passed, he has come over to the light side and has realized that Episode 8 is, let's just say, rough, because I don't want to bash it every podcast. I didn't bash it the last 2 we recorded and didn't post, so you guys are just missing that.
Here's the deal. Star Wars will always have great sound design and great music. Always. I truly believe that.
Whoa! Whoa! That's from...
I still think visual effects, sketchy. That can be wishy-washy. Sometimes the visual effects of a Star Wars movie isn't so great. But...
That was even Black Panther. I was surprised. You know, so big budget movies can still do that.
Yeah. But, and the cinematography, I think The Last Jedi is a beautiful looking movie. The script, not so much. I've come to judge it for what it is, and the script has got issues.
And then that scene I showed you
before that's why I said visual effects can be kind of iffy.
And it wasn't yesterday; it was the day before.
I was like, really?
It was a long day yesterday.
It was.
I showed Tyler how I don't know if you guys have noticed, but this is just a small tangent, and then we're gonna get into the other Star Wars news. So when Rey and Kylo are fighting the Praetorian Guards, one of them has 2 knives in its hand, and that's the last one that Rey fights. And that one grabs her with his right hand, is basically got her in like a chokehold type thing. And then she drops her lightsaber, ducks, catches it, and slashes it. The problem is, it had 2 knives, and it lifts its arm up, still has 2 knives, puts its arm down by its side, arm goes back up, no knife. If you pause it, you see his whole hand is digitally erased.
Yeah.
Because they realized while editing the scene, I'm assuming, oh wait, he's only choking her in place with his right hand. He could just be shanking her over and over. So in the fight, it's straight up a sword just disappears from a dude's hand. Because a knife just disappears from a dude's hand. And that's because Rian Johnson only filmed that scene twice and said that's good enough.
Yeah, I think it was that. I can't exactly. I know we talked about it. I think it was like 2 or 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a quote
with
from him.
like 2 cameras, and that was about it.
So that wasn't able to get caught the first few times, so that had to be edited out. But which worries me because this headline. Your Star Wars The Last Jedi complaints won't change how Rian Johnson approaches his new trilogy. So we still might get fight scenes that are only filmed twice. And then they have to edit out someone's entire hand because they're holding a knife that can kill the main character. So,
look how unenthused Mark Hamill looks in that photo.
Dude,
in that still. He looks like he does not want to sit there with those 2
That's
dudes.
because Mark Hamill straight up said, Disney put the snipers on him, so then he had to say, it's a great movie. Before that, he said, I just had to pretend I wasn't playing... it wasn't the Luke I knew. I just had to pretend I was playing Paul Skywalker.
Yeah, you guys can't see this image, but... So Rian Johnson, and then his producer buddy, I forget his name, but the guy that helped him produce the movie... and Mark Hamill are being interviewed, and Rian Johnson and this other dude are like all cheesy and smiley, having fun at like a fake camp. This set is weird.
I like it. I like it.
It's cool. It's like a
fake
campfire thing. Mark Hamill looks like
he wants
to just get up and walk away.
He's thinking about
He looks so
He looks like his dog got ran over 3 days ago.
Yeah, everyone else is smiley. I definitely want to watch this at some point to see what his reaction is to this, because he probably just doesn't even want to be there. But anyways,
so they asked.
Let's read what the
so they asked Rian Johnson if the backlash from The Last Jedi will have an impact on what he currently has planned for his return to the galaxy far, far away. And how's he respond, Tyler?
He says, no, not really. He confirmed when asked if he changed his plans for his Star Wars trilogy. I feel like every Star Wars thing that's made has a big, loud response because Star Wars fans are passionate, and that's what makes them awesome. Okay. I don't think it's possible. When you're telling a story and it comes from your heart, it's kind of not possible to be intellectually processing what everyone else wants, nor would it be a good thing. I don't think that's a healthy way to tell a story.
Yeah, tell a story that people want. That's not healthy.
So, legit, I read that, and that was tough to read, not because I can't read. It's tough to read because that quote makes absolutely no sense.
Yeah. So
what is he talking about there?
So telling the story that people want to hear isn't a good way to tell a story?
He's basically like, he literally says, so, yeah, I'm making Star Wars movies, and Star Wars fans are passionate, and
that's why they complain.
It's hard to make good movies when fans are so passionate. That's literally what he's saying, right? To the point.
No, he's saying... he's saying the backlash doesn't matter because every Star Wars movie has backlash because the fans are so passionate. Which is what makes us awesome. We love Star Wars so much we're going to be passionate. So he doesn't care about the backlash because that's just our passion.
He also said it's impossible to process what fans want. He's like, and he says he doesn't think it's a good thing, and I don't think it's a healthy way to tell a story.
That's not true.
If you're working in the Star Wars universe, yeah, it's healthy.
And
to process
pretty much anything. Like, I'm not talking about fan shipping, but like, put Venom in a Venom costume. Like, literally everyone is tearing what we've seen of the Venom movie apart. Yep. Everyone is saying this looks so bad. Because everyone wants to see Venom. Yeah. Don't hide him like Jaws. Your
movie's called Venom.
Yeah. Like, it's just...
Ugh.
So, yeah, I don't want to rant about episode 8 because I don't want to be the guy who complains about Star Wars stuff every episode because I don't want to be that guy. So, I'm going to keep my mouth shut on this. I'm going to say I like how the campfire looks. That face that Mark Hamill's making, I feel like is the face he makes when he would go to the set of regular show and voice Skips. Because Skips sounds like this. And I feel like that's the face that Mark Hamill had to make every time he talked like him.
I don't know. It'd be interesting.
Yep.
But you could tell a lot by Mark Hamill. You can just tell a lot by looking at Mark Hamill.
Oh, Mark Hamill always.
Anytime.
He's a good actor, but in real life, he's not. Like, if he recites it, he's good. But in real life, you tell him something and he's going to say, like, oh, I love this movie, with a frown on his face if he hates the movie. Or, you know how it goes.
All right, let's move on.
All right, so, let's go to Ready Player One. Oh, it's not Ready Player One.
Tintin.
Because that's how Steven Spielberg that's how Steven Spielberg is known, as director of Ready Player One. Mm-hmm. Like, come on, he's just... Yeah, it's the newest one, but, like, don't say that just for the headline. Spielberg has confirmed Tintin sequel is still happening.
Yay. I didn't see this movie.
Oh, it was good.
I heard it was good.
It was really good.
It's got Andy Serkis in it.
It was interesting. It wasn't like I didn't think it was like, this is awesome, but I was like entertained, and I was like, it's different.
Yeah.
Like, good different. But yeah, Adventures of Tintin, Secret of the Unicorn, still happening.
Alright, yeah, so we just checked out the Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
That is a mouthful. Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's 6 words.
Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. TV show from Nickelodeon.
Or, for short, ROTTMNT.
Okay, I figured out exactly what the animation style reminded me of and what this reminded. It reminded me of Samurai Jack. The animation style.
Loosely, to me. That's what I thought, too.
Yeah, not necessarily. The color palette is way different.
Well, my actual thought, looking at the animation, was, wow, this is like off-brand Samurai Jack. So that was my actual thought.
Yeah, no doubt. For sure.
So, how I feel about ROTTMNTs, yeah, it's anime. I feel, so, I haven't been following the ratings of the other one on Nickelodeon or anything like that.
I thought it was doing well.
But, I don't know if it didn't do well or what, because everything about this screams low budget to me.
Oh.
The animation is not that intensive at all to begin with, but it also, like, we saw a few action snippets, and to me it seemed very sloppy.
Mm-hmm.
And not just that, but the voice acting was very, very weak, too. You noticed, there goes my phone. You noticed with Splinter that they didn't hold back.
No, they were just like, boom.
They gave him a very generic white guy talking in an Asian accent voice.
Mm-hmm.
You have not completed your training yet.
Yeah.
Like that one.
It's very like, yeah, I don't know, man.
And
what they need to do is they need to give us like a more adult version of these characters, I think. Because I think that's what made the first movie so good.
If I remember
it was darker.
If I remember correctly, the first three lines, or the first three lines of dialogue spoken in the original Ninja Turtles movie were the word "damn."
Mm-hmm.
I think that is the first
by the Turtles, yeah, definitely.
By different people, yeah. Well, because it opens with the news on the TV talking about the crime rising. So I could be wrong, but the first line spoken by a character that we see. That's one of the best movies ever made, in my opinion.
I love the movie. Like, just with the budget they had, and obviously like the nostalgia. Like,
so one thing with this,
times, this is cool.
One thing with this one is they're trying very hard to make all of them look different, and I don't.
But they don't feel different. You know what I'm saying? All of them felt like the same goofy character.
Yeah, they did. They all had a goofy line in the trailer.
Yeah, they all feel like goofy Mikey characters.
So Raph is huge. Raph is like Hulk-sized, and in that image, his hands are glowing red.
Oh yeah.
Huh. And yeah, and their sword's blue, and he's got a purple jetpack, and he's got a yellow yo-yo, glowing yellow. So I don't know if they have powers. They might have chi, but Raph's like Hulk size, and he's got a Iron Fist style mask, bandana. I don't know the technical term, but it covers the entire top half of his head, where Donnie and Leo, or not Donnie, where Mikey and Leo have the normal turtle masks, but Mikey's the only one really shaped like the turtles normally were. Yep. Leo's like a taller, leaner one, and then Donnie is super slim and nerdy. Like he's got a jetpack in this. Or wait, no, is he levitating? And is that Black April with the jetpack?
I have no clue. Yeah.
Yeah. Or is she riding?
She's got a bike.
Is she riding?
No, she's riding Donnie.
Donnie. So Donnie's got like a bike hoverboard jetpack on, and
with handlebars.
With handlebars coming up from his shoulders. What in the world?
This makes no sense.
What is this?
Anyways, I don't know, man. Okay, I'm not really enthused.
One thing I was gonna say, I don't know if that's April O'Neil or not. We're assuming it is.
They didn't.
But
they
she
didn't introduce her. I don't know.
They didn't. I was paying attention.
Over in this whole.
She's black now. If that is April. So that's just something to note because that's different than anything before. Oh, that was not my phone. That was the remote. And the last thing I want to say, the last two things. Raph has a snaggletooth. Yeah. Raphael has one sharp tooth.
They've always leaned into the urban sense.
Who do you know in the urban that has one long fang?
Nobody,
no, I know.
I think it's them.
Yeah, it's that animation style.
Oh.
But, and then Donnie has goggles that are always on top of his head, whether he's wearing them or not, over his purple thing. But his goggles are like 3D glasses. They're red and blue. Yeah, so I think red and blue make purple. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. That could be. They could have just got lucky on that. But I just wanted to point those out because those are different things that I've ever seen from the Turtles. Mikey's got a sash. So does Leo. They have sashes. But
I don't know.
yeah, that's glowing hands, snaggletooths, and sashes, and becoming a bike.
They just need to take this. They just need to take this franchise back to its.
Oh,
roots.
hold up. There's more pictures. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that is a jetpack thing. So it's like a.
What's up with Donnie being a spider on the wall?
It's
there?
like a drone, like a quadcopter.
Oh yeah.
And April, I guess he grows handle. Okay, so I bet he took his staff. No, there's the staff. I was gonna say I bet he broke the staff in half and used it as the handlebars for her, but I guess he just grows handlebars when April needs to ride him.
Yes. I don't know.
Okay, and that's all. That's all the pictures. So that is. It does not say when it's coming out, but it says it'll debut later this year.
Okay.
So speaking of other cartoons
Good luck. Just take it
debuting,
back to original.
we have something that Tyler is ecstatic for, actually.
Oh yeah.
I'll let you take it away since you
All
couldn't
right.
stop talking about this all day.
Yes, I can't stop talking about this all day. The Spice Girls are looking to spread the girl power message with the new animated superhero movie.
So we're getting a new
These people are so irrelevant.
we're getting a new animated Spice World. I think it's gonna be Spice World.
I mean, they're not irrelevant. All right, here's the deal. They are an IP. They are an intellectual property.
The only reason they're
that
not
a bunch of like 26 and up year olds will dig this.
I say the only reason they're
Females.
not irrelevant for the most part is because the Spice Girls are where Beyonce came from. Like, honestly, like...
No.
Hmm?
TLC.
Wait, oh my
Or
gosh.
Destiny's Child. Sorry,
That's-
we totally screwed that up.
Wow,
Destiny's-
we need to cut that. That's embarrassing for both of us.
Destiny's Child. Is,
There's another...
all right.
Okay, yeah, that can't go in there.
Yo.
Yeah.
Destiny's Child. So if you want... Yeah, okay.
Okay. Okay, so
What's
yeah,
her
you can just
face?
say they're irrelevant.
What's her face? What is her face? What's her
What
name?
is her face?
What's her name?
I'm gonna say that
What's
instead
her
of...
name? The Beck guy.
Oh,
The soccer
yeah.
player.
Oh, Victoria Beckham?
Yeah, okay, that's her right there.
Yeah.
The second,
Yeah,
One
talk about
to the left.
a glow up.
yeah, that's her, second one on the left. So, okay, that's where she's come from.
That's
So-
yep.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, I marked both of them. I'm helping you out with that. I'm trying to at least, so that
Gotcha.
way it's easier to cut and edit
Thanks.
in like 2 seconds. You know, just a click,
Yeah,
not a
click,
listen
click,
through.
Yep.
Okay. But yeah. So girl power.
Yeah, girl power. All right, so the Spice Girls are looking to spread the girl power message with new animated superhero movie. Okay, it says the Spice Girls are thinking big in terms of franchise on a global scale. Coming out of nowhere. They're the most successful girl group on the planet. A source told Variety. It's just what Marvel or Disney needs.
I didn't know Marvel or Disney needed anything right
Marvel
now.
and Disney do not need anything Spice Girls
Let alone
related.
1, they don't need anything. Period. 2, they don't need anything. Let alone the Spice Girls.
Yeah, whoa. Alright, what an interesting story. Good
Oh,
luck.
man.
This is what I have to say. Good luck to them.
Yeah.
Good luck. I don't know who's going to pick you up, who's going to buy this.
Well, when they do,
idea.
get ready to hear, oh, tell me what you really, really want on the radio
Oh, yeah.
for like 3 months straight.
Alright, well, yeah, good luck to them.
That's funny. This is just what Marvel needs.
And that's not me poo-pooing the whole
No, that was a genuine good luck.
girl power thing. I just don't think they're the ones, honestly, with enough momentum and enough clout right now to be the ones that should be doing it. I don't know.
No, yeah, they're
They
they're
just
they're
seem-
not. That's just how
they're
you
very
promote
old.
yourself.
Yeah, it's just like there's whatever.
So, lightning round. Jude Law, we finally
round.
lightning round. Lightning effect. But So Jude Law has appeared on the set of Captain Marvel, and this is just the first time we've actually seen a picture of him on set. Mm-hmm. He's going to be playing the villain, I believe. He's going to be playing Mar-Vell, or no, he's the hero.
Mar-Vell.
He's a hero. The heroic Mar-Vell, that's right. So yeah, that's a thing. We already knew he was cast. First pictures of him are out. If you want to see it, go check them out. And then also there's some promo images for Infinity War. And it's supposedly shows where everyone's going to be on Earth. So if you want to see... I'm looking at it right now and I have no clue how it shows that. It might be a clickbait headline. Because I don't understand. Where are they? Like, where does this show that? Do you want to include this? The reason the black suit wasn't used in Justice League? Because I think it's bullcrap. Yeah. I think it's just because they cut off Snyder's stuff. Her power level.
Yeah. But it's just... she's powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
We're still so far from that movie.
Yeah. Okay, this is the live action TV adaptation. Alright.
Okay. Next story.
Street Fighter live action TV adaptation is in the works at E1, which I don't know what else they've made.
Assassin's Fist?
Oh, from the creative team of Assassin's Fist.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, I haven't heard of it. But, so they're making a live-action Street Fighter. And though on different journeys, our heroes' paths will cross as they are drawn into the World Warrior Tournament, a competition devised by M. Bison to find the most powerful and capable fighter in the world. On the journey, they come to share. They must draw on their strength, skills, intelligence, and loyalty in a battle to survive and emerge as the World Warrior. Warrior.
Cool.
That's the noise it makes when you knock out male characters in Street Fighter 2 Turbo.
Yes. So yeah, again, like I said, good luck.
Yeah. One interesting adaptation that I am looking forward to is coming out in a month from now. That was a weird pause. A month from now. And that would be Batman Ninja being released April 24th. And I'm so excited for that.
I hope it's good.
So they're going to have it in English and Japanese. They're going to release a sub and a dub. They're going to release a sub and a dub. And I realize a lot of people who are watching this might not listen to anime or might not watch anime like I do. But they're going to be listening. They're going to be watching. I couldn't think. Let me just rewind that. Okay. So a month from now, April 24th, Batman Ninja is going to be released. And that means it'll be online like a week and a half sooner. But don't watch it online, of course. Watch it from Redbox or wherever.
Redbox.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good idea.
But I'm excited for this because this is the movie where Batman gets sent back to feudal Japan and the Joker's been there longer than him and he has to stop the Joker. And it's funny because it's called Batman Ninja, but really he's like dressed like a samurai. Everything Batman does is samurai in this movie. But
that's what confuses me.
I'm so excited for this. So it's going to be released with a sub and a dub in English and Japanese. So for people who don't watch anime that much, sub stands for subtitled, the original Japanese with subtitles. Mm-hmm. Dub stands for dubbed over in a different language, aka English. So it's going to be recorded with English audio, English voice actors, but then there's also a Japanese recording, and I believe they're going to be on the same disc.
Nice.
So I'm extremely excited about that.
I prefer the subtitles.
I do too, for the most part. I say 90% of animes are better in Japanese than they are in English. But that 10%, dude, that's good in English, is good in English.
Alright, next story. It's not a story.
Yeah.
Really.
So we're kinda... Oh! Okay. I want to say next story again.
Yep. Alright, next story. Deja vu. I feel like I've seen this image before.
Yep. So, Infinity War is coming out in just about a month.
It's news to all.
And we know for sure somebody has officially seen the movie now.
Yep.
Who is that somebody we're talking about this time, Tyler?
James Gunn.
And what does James Gunn do? Who is that guy?
James Gunn.
Didn't he direct, like, My Little Pony or something?
No.
No? Oh.
No.
I could have swore.
James Gunn is the guy that wrote and directed the Guardians films.
Oh, yeah. The whole thing was sarcasm on my part, if you guys couldn't tell. But, yeah, director of Guardians. And what did he say?
He says on his Twitter that Avengers Infinity War is incredible. Ooh. Wow. And that's all I have to say for the time being. Hashtag Avengers.
Hashtag Avengers Infinity War. Hashtag Infinity War. Hashtag game on point.
Hashtag wow.
So, one thing that's worth noting is he did help make this movie.
Mm-hmm.
He was very, very involved. He was almost... I don't think he'll have director status. I don't know what they're going to call him. But he was essentially a director. Essentially.
Yeah, no.
For parts.
Yeah, him and Coogler. And I believe they brought Scott Derrickson in.
Yep.
Too, to help, because he directed Strange.
Yeah.
Yeah. They all have kind of...
Yeah, so how it worked is the Russo brothers are the directors of this movie. Yep. And as we mentioned earlier, they're the ones who directed Civil War and Winter Soldier and the Captain America movies. Or, not yep. But those are just the Captain America movies. But, so they're the main directors of this movie. But they're also very smart, and they know, we're working with the Guardians. We've never done stuff with them before. We're working with Doctor Strange. We've never done stuff with him. We're working with Black Panther. We've never done stuff with him. We're working...
Not true.
They did. They did introduce him.
They brought Ryan Coogler. Go on.
But, yeah, we're working with Thor. He was the one who wasn't in Civil War. We haven't done stuff with him. Mm-hmm. So, they're smart. And they brought these other directors on and said, hey, help us with Thor. Hey, help us with Black Panther. Hey, help us with the Guardians. Mm-hmm. So they almost co-directed parts that have their, quote, quote, their characters in the movie. And I think that's awesome.
Which makes sense. I mean, if you're all under one umbrella, you're all in the same universe.
Mm-hmm.
Why wouldn't you almost just, like, co-direct the final chapter of this whole, this saga that they've been building up to? So it makes sense.
So...
Good on them.
As much as I firmly believe with all my heart Infinity War will be all caps incredible, as James Gunn has said, and wow, 5 exclamation points, as James Gunn has said, it is worth noting that he did kind of direct a lot of parts of this movie. So, he's very, let's just say heavily involved.
Oh, yeah.
So that opinion clearly taken with a grain of salt just because who he is, he's obligated to say that, but at the same time, it's Infinity War.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
and if you
follow,
if you follow him on social media, like the dude he's kind of like Mark Hamill, where he doesn't really, I mean, what he thinks is what he thinks. He doesn't beat around the bush and like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's very honest with his opinions on social media. So,
yep.
Obviously, he's not going to be like, wow, that was a disappointment. Because obviously he wants to make Guardians 3.
Yeah.
So.
But, clearly... It's the safe bet is we have nothing to worry about. I just thought it was worth noting that this opinion is coming from a person heavily involved.
Right, and we can wrap it up after this. But this is my question: where this is going to happen. There's going to be people who, because there's a good majority of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, why it's so successful. People didn't read the Infinity Gauntlet. They don't really know what's about to happen. There's a good portion of just fans out there of the movies that have no idea what's about to go down. And there's going to be a lot of people that die. There's going to be a lot of decisions that are made. And I think from people who don't read the comic books, I think there's going to be a little bit... It's not going to be Star Wars The Last Jedi level, but I think there's going to be people that are going to be upset that their favorite character dies. I do.
I agree with that, but I also think it's going to be... When people say this movie sucks, they're straight up going to say, this movie sucks! Insert character. Let's just go with Cap for now. This movie sucks. They killed Captain America! Like, that's going to be their entire explanation for why the movie sucks.
Yes.
Like, it's not going to be divisive like The Last Jedi, where... Well, I think it sucks because A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K through the whole alphabet, right. And then you get to A, B, A, C, A, D. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. It just hurts so much. But
yeah, no, I think there's going to be a lot of people...
You'll be able to weed them out, basically, right. And view it as like a...
And I see this coming, too. I see a lot of people going like, oh, Thanos was too powerful. They're not going to understand. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to get it.
I don't know. I don't know,
just because... Oh, it's not realistic that he would get all the stones. Like, I feel like that's going to come from people who know nothing about Infinity War, know nothing about Thanos, and don't get that this is coming from source material.
Depends. He potentially might not be in the fourth one. I think he will be. I think it's a safe bet to say he will be. But if he does get defeated and killed or whatever in this one, then I don't think we're going to see a lot of that.
True.
But
true.
If he kills them all, because like I said earlier, I think Spidey, Doctor Strange, who I loved that scene in the trailer with them together. Oh, I'm Peter, by the way. Doctor Strange. Oh, we're using our made-up names. I loved that so much. But either way, like I said, Spidey, Doctor Strange, and Black Panther. It's just this feeling I got that they're going to be the only three that survive this one. Mm-hmm. And then most of the rest will get brought back to life in the fourth. But all that to say, if it goes that way, then I definitely see people complaining about Thanos being too powerful. But people are always going to complain about something.
Yep. We live in the day and age where that's what happens.
Everyone's able to be informed enough to have evidence to back up their wrong opinion.
That's an interesting way to put that. That's pretty clever.
Just enough.
Yep.
But yeah, and I'm not saying every opinion that disagrees with me is wrong. I'm saying people who are going to say, oh, Thanos is too powerful, when he's strong enough to hold a stone in his bare hands, and the only reason Peter was able to was because he's the son of a Celestial.
Right.
Like, he's already, like, that's who he is, type thing. Mm-hmm. The Mad Titan build up over 10 movies. So, like, sometimes some stuff can be a little wrong on those opinions.
Yes.
I'm not bashing anyone who...
movie.
Yeah, I'm not bashing everyone who disagrees with me.
It's the whole device that gives him his power. Like, come on, anyways.
Oh, man.
Anyways.
It's exciting.
Yep, but I think that's our show for today.
Yeah, this is going to be... I mean, granted, so... Yeah. I don't know what I was going with that. This might end up being our longest one yet. We did all this in one take, and there's a few stuff that we said multiple times, because we're just going to... Instead of doing multiple takes, we just did it in one. We're just going to cut the other ones out. Mm-hmm. So... As of right now, it's our longest. It might end up not being, but we'll see. I'm happy with it. It was fun,
guys.
Thanks for hanging out with us.
Thanks for joining us. This one will definitely go up.
Okay, cool.
We're putting this one up.
If he does it, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
No, I'm gonna put it up. I promise. I'm gonna put it up. But all right, guys. Thanks for joining us, and we'll be back more frequently.
Oh, wait. I'm not on tape. I just like did one of those click things and I threw both my hands up in a peace sign and smiled at the mic. That's not a good goodbye. If we were recording video as well, that would have been fine. Yeah, we'll be back more frequently. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Bye, guys.